Hello friends, I want to share a few of my thoughts on this topic. Before that, I would like to take you back in the history of sustainability. In my opinion, all this has really started at the global platform sometimes in 70. Prior to that, the world was feeling that science is the only way through which we can make the progress. Industrialization is the only way through which everything will be all right. But the world has realized that there are issues of the pollution, there are issues of water pollution, air pollution, overall environmental pollution. Therefore, in 1970, the United Nations called for the World Conference, Human Environment. That is in 1970. This conference took place at Stockholm, where our respected Prime Minister at that time, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, participated. She voiced the concern of the developed countries, unequal distribution of the earth resources, and the poverty. Subsequently, the United Nations Environmental Programme, UNEP, was also formed as an extended arm of United Nations. The world has also started observing 5th June as the World Environment Day from 1972. But not the sufficient progress was achieved in this area. United Nations therefore thought that we have to do some fundamental thinking, maybe rethinking about our approach of the development. United Nations therefore appointed the commission, which they called as the World Commission on the Environment and Development. This is their report which has come out in 1987. The commission was appointed in 83 under the chairmanship of the Norwegian Prime Minister, and the commission came out with the report, and that report is called as Our Common Future. This is now available as a book for any reader. It's a wonderful book and wonderful reading on sustainability. Subsequently, the Rio Conference also took place in 1992. The industrial leaders came together, and they formed what is called as the Business Council for Sustainable Development. So, their reports, their discussions, their debate, everything is available in the form of book or on net. So, there is no dearth of the information and the reading material on sustainability. The million-dollar question is, have we made the progress in terms of sustainability, in terms of sustainable development? It's not easy question just to answer it in the yes and no terms. If you use the awareness as a yardstick for measurement, then probably we can say that yes, we have made a lot of progress. The world has made a lot of progress in the area of sustainable development, only in terms of awareness. But if we use implementation, if we use the actual ground level work towards the sustainable development, then we cannot say with the same enthusiasm that we have made the progress. So why so? What are the challenges of the sustainable development? The commission about which I have just now talked has really made a wonderful report, and in their report, in a very opening para, they have pinpointed the real issue of sustainability. I would like to read from that report, and I quote, the commission says that the earth is one, but the world is not. It's a very great thinking. The earth is one, but the world is not. We all depend on one biosphere for sustaining our lives. Yet, each community, each country strives for survival and prosperity with little regard for its impact on others. Some consume the earth's resources at the rate that would leave little for further generations. Others may, in fact, others, many more in numbers, consume far too little and live with prospects of hunger, disease, and early death. Unquote. Now, this was stated sometimes in 1987 in the report when it was published, and it remains more or less valid even after 3 decades. In fact, the gaps between have and have not is widening. This commission, the said commission, defined sustainability as meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. I will repeat again. The Commission has defined the sustainable development as meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. As a definition, it's fine. It's really fine. But the question is, how do we define needs? How do we differentiate between needs and greed? How do we say that the need ends here and the greed starts from here? Now that is where the world is not agreeing. So from this perspective, the sustainable development demands fundamental change in our thinking, the way we think about progress, the way we think about life, way we think as to what we want exactly from the life. Now this is a real challenge of sustainability. Albert Einstein once said, and I would like to really end my talk with that saying. He said, the world we have created today as a result of our thinking thus far has problems which cannot be solved by thinking the way we thought when we created those problems. This pandemic, as a blessing in disguise, has provided all of us an opportunity to rethink about the life. We all have started some introspection at our level. I hope that we will continue with that introspection and clearly define the line of demarcation between our own needs and greed. I don't know about the world. I do not know really about whether the world will achieve the sustainable development goals or not. But those of us who have a clarity will certainly achieve the sustainability in our own life. I am talking about the clarity about the line of demarcation between the greeds and needs. Because if you have that clarity, then you will be happy in your life. And at the end of the day, what is the final goal of sustainability? Happiness. So thank you, friends, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on sustainability. Thank you. Take care.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Vadiraj Kulkarni from ITC. I'm going to talk about sustainability. And as you would be aware, ITC's businesses span across 3 sectors of the Indian economy: agriculture, manufacturing and services. We are present in FMCG, hotels, information technology, packaging, agri-businesses and paperboards and specialty papers. And I represent the paperboards and specialty papers division of ITC. ITC has pioneered the triple bottom line performance, which covers not only economic performance but social and environmental performance dimensions too, right? And ITC is the only company in the world of comparable dimensions to be carbon positive for 16 years in a row, water positive for 19 years in a row, and 14 years in a row for solid waste recycling positive. This is as on 31st March 2021. So we are setting new standards globally on dimensions of environmental performance. In terms of paperboards and specialty papers division, we believe that we established leadership through innovation. It has a heritage of more than 4 decades in the pulp and paper industry, catering to the wide spectrum of packaging, graphic, communication and specialty paper requirements. That's the widest range possible globally from any paper and paperboards company. And we have pioneered the virgin paperboards, or what we call as value-added paperboards in India, and we today hold a very, very large market share, both in terms of volume and value. For us, it was not just important to be in this business to source raw material, to convert into final product and sell it to various customers through dealerships or direct sale, but we wanted to promote a greener value chain. So how did we do it is going to be the key theme of this session. We were the first in India certification for Forest Stewardship Council, that is FSC, and CI Greenco Platinum and Platinum Plus for our factories. We believe we have achieved benchmark standards in terms of environments. We also developed proactive Farmer Connect to develop renewable and pulpwood plantations, which means that we will only source responsible and sustainable raw material, which is, I think, going to contribute significantly to environmental stewardship. And ITC also pioneered the largest waste management initiative in the Indian industry, and specifically targeting households. We believe that we follow sustainability at every step, not just in terms of certifications or the products. So in terms of the value chain in the wood, we have sustainable sources of plantations by developing high yielding clones through research and development, carbon sequestration through plantations, and FSC certifications. In terms of manufacturing, we focus on renewable energy. We hold close to 45% of energies through renewable share sources. The reduction in GHG emissions year on year, reduction in specific water and effluent discharges, elemental chlorine-free pulp mill, and CI Greenco certifications. In terms of products, we believe that paperboard and papers, which are sourced from fiber, naturally renewable sources of material, offer a superior kinds of value compared to metals or to plastics. In terms of waste management, we have a program called Well-being Out of Waste, and also ensuring that all the manufacturing waste is recycled. Coming to wood, we have developed a massive social and farm forestry plantations through our program. And in this program, we offer high-yielding, site-specific, disease-resistant saplings, specially developed by ITC's in-house R&D, which are sold to farmers. And we also provide extensive support in terms of best practices with a buyback kind of guarantee. Under the social forestry program, tribal and marginal farmers are assisted with loans, saplings at subsidized rates, and extension services. The agroforestry model unique in this part of the country, which combines tree growing with field crop production and ensuring both food and wood security. So what are the benefits for stakeholders? Farmers, they get higher incomes. In terms of products, we have, the customers have access to local, renewable and responsible raw materials. Environment, in terms of we provide green cover, it also has carbon sequestration, topsoil retention and groundwater replenishment. The impact today is we have covered plantations of over close to 900,000 acres, and we've generated 160 million person days, and also sequestration of CO2 in terms of 58 million plus metric tons till 2020-21. Continuing our journey of environmental performance, Forest Stewardship Council is a voluntary market-based tool that supports responsible forest management worldwide, and these are verified from the point of origin through the entire supply chain. This label ensures that forest products used are from responsibly harvested and verified sources. We were the first company in India to obtain Forest Stewardship Council Forest Management Certification for its forestry program. And today, we have received certification close to 100,000 acres of plantations involving close to 24,000 farmers. In terms of manufacturing, we hold a renewable energy share of 43% through byproduct of black liquor, biomass as well as wind energy. And here you would see a trend over 16 years, consecutive years, we have been carbon positive, and that has largely come from reduction of GHG emissions despite growth in our production and massive carbon sequestration program. In terms of specific water intake, we have been able to reduce significantly in terms of water consumption year on year. Unit Kowai, that is at Coimbatore, is the first site in India and the first paper mill in the world to achieve the highest platinum rating under the Alliance of Water Stewardship Standards. This means that whatever water is consumed in the manufacturing system is more than offset, more than compensated for by reducing the water that is used beyond the fence. In terms of treated effluent quality, we believe that we will meet our standards and actually exceed standards, and 50% of total treated water from Bhadrachalam and Tribeni was utilized for irrigation, and there has been a significant reduction in the treated effluent discharge at Tribeni factory. And today Bhadrachalam units effluent discharge stands at close to 35 kiloliter per metric ton, which is well within the European pulp and paper industry's benchmark of 47 kiloliter per metric ton. The graph here gives you the details. One of the things that we did in India, one of the first to do globally, was to set up an elemental chlorine-free pulp mill, and this also ensured that the chlorine discharge is not there in the manufacturing process. And this is a technique that uses chlorine dioxide for bleaching pulpwood instead of elemental chlorine gas, which is hazardous and also can lead to a lot of risks. We also, last 3 years, we've been working with CII's GreenCo certification to ensure that over various parameters of sustainability, that is energy efficiency, water conservation, renewable energy, greenhouse gas emission reduction, material conservation, recycling, recyclability, waste management, green supply chain, product stewardship, lifestyle assessment, and various other factors. And our factories at Kowai and Bhadrachalam have achieved one of the highest ratings in the system, that is Platinum Plus, and we are one of the very, very few in India to have achieved this kind of a feat. In terms of products, we believe that virgin fiber-based products and recycled fiber-based products offer superior environmental standards, but we've also launched various solutions to substitute plastics, which are posing a huge hazard to both ocean and landfills. So we have various products which are biodegradable or recyclable, a series of these products which are extensively being used, and we are scaling up these products as I speak. In terms of recycling, ITC designed and rolled out a program called Well-being Out of Waste, which means that we promote segregation of waste at source into dry and wet waste and dry waste, and subsequently through the value chain segregate these, and so that the franchisees, the municipal workers are able to segregate and realize waste value from various waste categories. We have created an impact of over 15 million citizens, supporting livelihoods of close to 17,000 waste collectors, and created 140 social entrepreneurs. And there's a huge amount of waste that we're able to segregate and derive value out of, otherwise these would have filled the landfills across India. In terms of manufacturing waste, we have recycled close to 100% of total non-hazardous waste generated within the ITC factories, either for reuse or for recycling. For example, in terms of fly ash from boilers, because we run a very, very high big power plant setup, they're used by cement and brick manufacturers and in road construction. So there are even other types of waste which are recycled. We are also happy that we have been recognized for our work in the sustainability space. That ITC's products, the Philopath series products, have been awarded the most innovative environmental project at the 7th edition of CII Environmental Practices Award 2020. I talked about GreenCo earlier, and we've been awarded for also energy management certifications and a variety of these awards. Thank you, and wishing the program all the best.